This week we are talking about color. Here are some of the vocabulary words we're going to cover in this unit. So color simply consists of hue, intensity, and value. Color consists of hue, intensity, and value. And hue is simply the pure color, or one without any tint or shade. So that would be a pure red, or a pure blue, or a pure green, with no tint and no shade. Hue. Intensity is the strength or purity of a color, and intensity can be diminished by adding the color's complement. So if you were to take red and you want it to be a little less intense, you could add its complement, which is green, to get a lower intensity version of that hue. Value refers to the hue's lightness or darkness, and value can often be changed by adding black or white to a particular hue. So here you see a value scale in the blue. It takes you from the lightest version of blue to the darkest version of blue. So value refers to the hue's lightness or darkness and can be changed by adding black or white. Here's an example of a color wheel, and here you can see several color schemes that are denoted by the color wheel. So you can have primary color scheme, analogous color scheme, secondary, complementary color schemes. So these are all shown in relationship to the color wheel. Primary colors are colors that can be mixed to make all colors, but they cannot be made by mixing other colors. So red can be mixed with a yellow to make orange, but you can't mix any two colors to make red. Red is red. You can't mix any two colors to make yellow. It's the very basic color. But you can mix yellow and blue to make green. So primary colors can be mixed to make all colors, but they cannot be made by mixing other colors. Secondary colors are located midway between the primary colors on the color wheel, and that is orange, green, and violet. So here you can see orange is a secondary color, and you can mix red and yellow to get that orange. Green, you can mix yellow and blue to get green. So you'll notice that the secondary colors are located midway between the primary colors that you would mix to make that color. Intermediate colors are found between those primary and secondary colors, and those are all your hyphenated colors. So like the red-orange, or the orange-yellow, or the yellow-green, or the blue-green, or blue-violet, or red-violet. They're also called tertiary colors. So the intermediate colors are found between those primary and secondary colors, and they take the name of the colors that you mix to make them. Complementary colors are located opposite each other on the color wheel. So here you can see that there's red, and if you look to the opposite side of that color wheel, you'll find green. So complementary colors are located on the opposite side of each other on the color wheel. And often those are color schemes that are chosen by sports teams. So think about like blue and orange. There are sports teams that use blue and orange in their jerseys. What about purple and gold? That would be violet and yellow. So even EC uses a complementary color scheme. If you were to fall out of a boat and you have a life vest on, that life vest would be orange because you can see orange really well against blue because they are complementary color schemes. Complementary color schemes are the most intense color combinations that you can get. Analogous colors are the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel and closely related. So then you have red-violet, red, and red-orange. They're all snuggled up next to each other. They're closely related. They are an analogous color scheme. Another version of that would be maybe violet, blue, violet, and blue. So three that are right next to each other, they're closely related. Those are analogous colors. Warm and cool colors are terms that are used to describe sort of the temperature feeling that you get from a color. So the warm colors are the yellows and reds of the color spectrum. They're associated with fire, heat, sun, and warmer temperatures. That's your warm colors. Cool colors are the ones that make you think of cooler temperatures. They're the blues and greens of the color spectrum associated with water, sky, and ice. Hue, tint, tone, and shade. So in our project, we're going to be dealing with hue, tint, and shade. We are not going to use tone, but hue is pure color. Tint is that pure color plus white. Tone is that pure color plus gray, and shade is that pure color plus black. So hue is pure color, tint is plus white, tone is plus gray, and shade is plus black. And here's an example of what each of those might look like in a color wheel. So here is a fully labeled color wheel, and I'd like you to take a minute to just write this down on your study guide. So think about Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. So if you were going to label a color wheel, you could do Roy G. Biv, skipping every other wedge. So red, skip one, orange, skip one, yellow, skip one, green, so on and so forth. And then in between those, in the areas that you've skipped, all you need to do is write the name of the two colors on either side and hyphenate it. So if you do Roy G. Biv and you do red, skip one orange, skip one yellow, skip one green, skip one blue, skip one violet, then you're going to have an empty space here, and you just know that red and orange are on either side, and you can just label that red orange. So get used to Roy G. Biv. There is no indigo, we're skipping the I, so it's actually Roy G. Biv. So Roy G. Biv with no I. Red, skip one orange, skip one yellow, skip one green, skip one blue, skip one violet, and then in those areas that you skipped, you're just going to hyphenate the two on either side. So between the red and the orange is red orange, between the orange and the yellow is yellow orange, between the yellow and the green is yellow green, and so on and so forth. And that will give you a fully labeled color wheel. So if you don't want to remember it with my mnemonic device, you can figure out what works best for you if you want to come up with some other way to remember where those colors are. But please go ahead and label your color wheel on the back of your study guide so that you'll have one to look back at when you need to. All right, and that is the end of our unit on color. And once you have completed your study guide, you can go on and start to work on your projects.